So this is Jennifer Darty from East Carolina University Joyner Library, and I'm doing an oral history interview with Bobby Thompson. It is September the 3rd, 2022, and we're at the Thompson farm. And so we'll just get started. And can you actually tell me what your full name is?
My full name is Bobby Thompson.
Do you have a middle name?
No,
No middle name? Okay.
They left me without a middle name.
And how old are you?
I am 17 years old.
Okay. So, can you tell me a little bit about where you were born and how you grew up, where you went to high school?
I was born in Greenville on 5th Street between 14th and 13th Street at my grandmother's house. And that's my mother's mother, and her name was Martha. So I was there, birthed by a midwife and my grandma. So I was born there, stayed there a while, and moved to Grindon. Out in Grindon is where I was raised, just 2 doors down. And I've been there for a long time, up to the 10th grade. So this is where I started learning how to be a farmer, among other things. And this is where I grew up at. I love this area. I started as a boy, young, in a home of 5. My mother, health-wise, wasn't like most of us. And she had to leave and go to a sanitarium, a hospital. And so we didn't have her the whole time. But she was kind of in and out. So I had my dad, so she was like my godly person who read the Bible every day. Every day she was in that Bible. And she read it so much until I, basically started listening to her. So got the word and found out how, you can do things just by having faith. So I learned that. My father was just a guy, good man, good dad, good father, supporter. He knew a lot. He was smart. He worked. He once told his mother that he had an opportunity to go to play baseball, but he didn't want to go. And so he would make his living in the dirt. So he kind of stayed here. His mother lived there, and we lived 2 houses down. So they were side by side. And where we are now, this was the orchard. Plums, pecans, plums, apples, pears, peaches. Yeah, and then it was like oak trees up along in here. I used to play on the oak trees and come out the road with different nuts that fell off. So I grew up, and this was the orchard, and we had hogs, we had cows, and all that. I enjoyed that. We had tobacco barns, we had mules, chickens, guineas, turkeys. So it pretty much was a farm, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. And, as I was growing up, my uncles and all, we all worked together as a family. And they would always say, you got to work in order to have something. If you don't work, you won't have to. You won't have anywhere to stay. And I was going like, my mind was going like, I want a rooftop. I want a house, stuff like that. I wanted food. Yeah, they said, well, you can grow your own food here. And so we did that, and we used to have chimneys in these houses, but we took the chimneys out. I had to go back and get them one day. I don't know, but we went in the woods and we would get the old cross-cut saw, and we'd go in there and just saw back. Because that was the wood. That's how you stay warm. And, I got the gist of that. Learned how to do that. Learned that if you didn't back your knee out of the way, you bump into your knee, that would hurt. So we had that. We had chickens. And, that was the meat. And Daddy went and kind of sort of hunting. So there was rabbits, all kind of food out there. So I loved it. So as I got older and we got to working, you know, it was a lot of work to do. You work every day. And you would get tired of the work. So we sweated, we worked hard. There were times when I quit. But this was the family life for me. I enjoy it. And just by being here so long and trying to, follow the footsteps that they laid for us. So stepping in them is a challenge. Take a person that is got their mind made up. You got to have your mind made up. You got to have some business on your mind. You just can't go out here and not have business on your mind. They told us you can't be drinking and stuff like that, getting in trouble. It'll mess up your record. So I said, I can't do that. So it was like a teaching experience. It made a good person out of me. As far as a man, I'm still trying to be that man. Honestly, being a man out here in this world, because it's constantly changing. So you just have to be ready. And the one thing, my mother taught me is that everything that is happened under the sun now already been done. So it's just coming around in a different way. So that encouraged me to keep going. So I'm just blessed to be here today.
Now, I know that you worked with your dad and your uncles, and so was it? Do you know like how the land got passed down? Lola was telling me a little bit about it, but she said that you might know more off the top of your head. It was like your great grandmother or something who bought the land originally. Do you remember that?
Well, this spot here, my grandmother and my grandfather bought.
Okay.
So we got that through another person that she bought it from. Mm-hmm. So that's how we got it. So, but how we got it was by my granddad. Granddaddy said that he wanted to work, so that all of his children would have a farm of their own. And he did. He worked. And when he worked, he had another farm down the road from here. So he had to buy that farm. So when he bought that farm, soon after that, he passed. So I guess the money that he got from that, his grandma, and then the boys working. There was a lot of boys. There was 2 girls who I don't know if Lola told you that, but there was Lydian Thompson, Thelma Thompson, Joseph Thompson, Galloway Thompson, Osley Thompson, Hoskin Thompson, Smith Thompson, Earl Thompson, and there was one that, kind of passed forward. So with that group of people, there was a lot of hands working. So they worked and they saved up their money, and they didn't waste any money. They saved their money. They taught us the same thing. Don't waste your money. And definitely don't lose what we worked for and got. But it was hard. It was hard, with just a mule and your sheer muscle power and mind power of your body is the only other thing you had. And I think they had a couple of it's not one oxen. It seemed like there was 2. There's some oxen, which was like big cows, pull and till the soil. And that's how we got this property here. And before this here, at the very beginning, there was Levin Hardy. So Levin was, Lola probably told you that story. Okay, Levin was the Hardy man that worked on the plantation, on Hardy Plantation. So the Hardy Plantation was where he worked. And when he worked there, he learned a lot about farming. And I knew it was hard, being a slave. But when you look at it now, you can look at the blessing from it. I don't look at it as hard now like I used to. It used to be a kind of like a very cold feeling, a very different feeling towards white people. But here, what helped me get over that was that on this end there was all black. On that end, it was all white. Matter of fact, that guy that came up here, he lived down there. So we learned how to work around white people, and we played with them. We ate with them. So we didn't see any color. We didn't even know what prejudice was. We didn't know what it was when we was going through school. But I was just trying to get, and my mother helped me think about what God went through and what he said, that he loved everybody. And we hear about God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And then when he died upon the cross, all his pain and everything he took. And when he did that, that's why we got life. So being able to understand that, which a lot of people don't understand that. We are all human. We're all the same. And if you don't have the knowledge of all of this, you won't understand it. You will not understand it. Because if you look at it, your spirit and my spirit, it never dies. It always keeps going on. So that's what we're all equal at, is that spirit. And we won't really see the beauty of it totally until we meet our Father. So that's what we have to go on. You have to go on with belief. And I believe that with my spirit being equal to everybody else, that's all I need. I don't, I look at, this land as a blessing, but I look at it as a place that God gave us to have peace, love, and happiness for the rest of our lives, because that's what he desires us to have. He gave us to that. Can't nobody take that away if you believe in it. I don't have to have this to make it out of here. When I pass on and move on, this will be all left behind. I didn't create it. I didn't, do any of that. But while I'm here, I'm keeping it up, because that's what his desire is to. Anything that he gives you, he wants you to keep, preserve, and be thankful over what have been given to you. So we try to keep the place up around here real good, because it shows what kind of person you are, how much you care.
Lola had mentioned some of the projects or programs you guys have been doing to give back. And
Yeah, we're trying to do different programs like the Sons program. I love that program because it's working with Save Our Neighborhood Streets. So that's going out into the streets and talking to people, young children, whether they are babies, you got to nurse them, or teenagers, you got to stick with them because they don't know. They just don't know what it takes for this world. So you have to be there. Somebody got to be there for them. So we try to be there for them teach them, nourish them, care for them. And anything that we do, we always say, God is first. And whatever that you want to do, whether it be sports, academics, arts and crafts, making different things, merchant, that come next. I mean, the academics come next. That's second. Academics is second. And then the things you want to do is last. In that order. God first, books next, basketball, football, whatever is last. You might not make it, and everything. But that's the order we train. The girls, she likes the girls. We try the girls. We have a picture of a girls basketball team there. But we work with them because we want them to be productive individuals because we're the generals now. And we'll be moving on. And they'll be coming on up the ladder. So if they come up the ladder and we teach them right, they'll never sway away from it. If they're strong and rooted, committed. So that's what we do. And even that, Grandma on the farm, one of her land use practices was recreation. She wanted recreation. My mother's cousin going back home there. But yeah, that's about it on that.
Could you talk a little bit about Lola said that you guys both have done other jobs while you're farming, and so could you tell me a little bit about the other stuff you did? I think she said you worked for the fire department.
Yes. I had many other jobs. I went to college when I graduated from high school 1 year, and my mother passed in October. I had just started.
Where did you go?
North Carolina A&T State University. So I went there, and she passed in October. So I was just only in school about 2 months. And, it kind of left me kind of empty. And really didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to do anything in life. But I knew I had to do something, because when I went, my main purpose was to become a professional basketball player. And next, it was to get me a good job. And next, it was to make some money and make enough money so that I could buy her a new pocketbook and give her money to put in her pocketbook and buy her some new clothes and new hats and all of that. Because at that time, she probably just had a few outfits. They wore the old Chester drawer there was so wide, had a little 2 or 3 drawers beside, and then they're about that deep. Then you get about the old coat in there, a small coat, maybe a few dresses or something in there. So that was about it. So that was one of my main things, was making her happy. I wanted to see her happy, And so with that early way out, I stalled for a while. And I left the farm, and then I decided that I'm going home. So it was sort of like the prodigal son, returning home. And when I returned home, I started working. And I was doing other jobs like out at I was out at Rubbermaid, where we made the different plastics and things, the broom handles and all that. And then before that, I worked with Daniel Construction Company. That was the only thing they had. It was in April. It was cold, but wife was hungry, 3 boys was hungry, and I was hungry. So I started working for Daniel Construction Company. From there, I moved on and went to Shelter Workshop. Worked out there as a supervisor. So I did that. And, that was in 1976. I moved away from there and then I went at the fire department. And I went down there, and my cousin was working on it for recreational parks, and he was telling me, "Hey, you need a job?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, how about being a firefighter?" I said, No, I don't want to be a firefighter. they get burned up. But, he said, "Well, I thought you wanted a job." So I thought about it. It didn't take me long. I said, "Yeah, I think I want to do it." And when I went through it, every interview that I went through, everything that I did well, and I became a firefighter. And I stayed up for 31 years. And EMS, that was my ministry.
Is that county or city?
City.
City, okay.
City. That became my ministry. For helping people. Elderly people, abused people, people with heart conditions, even people who had a family member who maybe have passed, and I was there to kind of comfort them and move them on. But I enjoyed that. Customer service was something that I really worked on very, very hard. I worked on it very, very hard. Because I found out how important it is in anything that you do. Anything. So I did that. And I stayed down there for 31 years. I didn't want to go. I really didn't want to go. So I retired there and came on the farm, and then I got consumed in the farming, and it was like every day I was just looking for something to do, and ups and downs, but we're here now, still moving. Yeah.
I know that. So the people around you are almost all related, right? Like
Yes.
There's a lot of cousins. Can you
Yes.
talk a little bit about that, like
Yeah.
working with your cousins and your relatives all around you, and kind of growing up that way?
Yeah, that way, growing up in, I say in a family, your nuclear family. And your nuclear family is like your family, your dad and your mom, and you're working with them. But when they have other brothers and sisters and they're farming, now you got to go and help them. So on Monday, it was Daddy Day to work. On Tuesday, it was Uncle Joe Day that we helped him. On Wednesday, it was Grandma Day that we helped him. And then on Thursday, it was Uncle Bendel and Uncle Fred. On Thursday, sometimes it was flip-flop, depends on what was going on. On Friday, it was like a day off, but you still work. You still work. On Saturday, it was like help Uncle Bone, Uncle Holsey. So it was like every day. Sunday, it was going to clean up the church because you had to go to Sunday school. Daddy kept us in church. So in church, where we got our strength from, every Sunday. And then when we went to school that Monday, we had our agriculture teacher who would say, "Okay, everybody that went to church get an extra point." So I went to church every Sunday to get them points. I ate them points up. So that was all good. But working with them was different. You had to learn how to eat everybody cooking, whether you liked it or not. You had to learn the different work ethics. Some would work better than others, but as a group, we all worked good. We all worked good, so we all ate together at lunchtime. Sometimes everybody went their own separate ways, and that's just how it was. It was fun. There was laughter, there was sadness, there was crying. You didn't do it right, you get fussed out. It made you do it right. So we went through all of that, we went through our different opinions on what we thought. We felt like we had the most sense than they did. So we went through all of that, but it was fun. But in that inner working together brought knowledge and different ideas together, and we talked about, and so that was diverse. That was like interpersonal dynamics, So I didn't know what interpersonal dynamics was then, but that's what it was. So,
do a lot of them still farm today, or do they lease their farms, or
yes,
they're still around here?
Yes, I just had one cousin to leave. He's right down here.
Okay.
He farms the other farm on the other end. He farms his farm. He farmed his mama's farm. And they had a family of probably 7 or 8. And then he got my cousin, so Patricia Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
So we do hers, and then I do Patricia Thompson too, because she got 2 parcels, 2 or 3 parcels. So we all still working together. We all work together. But to take it way on back, Levin got it all started. And that was in the 1800s.
That was Levin Hardy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was in the 1800s. He was actually the one who, I guess, inherited that farm by, I guess, when you stay on a plantation long enough, maybe it's not a plantation anymore, it become a family. So you family, you fall in love with each other. You have children, and that's what happened. So it all got started from him, and then my great grandmama, it was Queenie. So that was the first farming experience. That's what she got. That's where Grandma Hannah got her started. Levin left to his daughter. His daughter left to her daughter. And it got passed on down that way. And one most important thing is holding on to it after you get it, and that's by paying your taxes and maintaining it. And you got to farm. You have to farm every out of 3 years. You can't skip a year. You can skip a year, but you can't skip so many. Anything, if you don't farm after 3 years, it turns into a commercial property. So there you pay higher taxes.
Are there any other stories you'd like to share, like from your childhood or growing up on the farm, or any maybe story about with your kids or anything like that?
Well, my first job on the farm was the lookout guy. I was one who was told to look and see everything go down that way road and everything go back the other road. Who's walking around? Who came by? You see anything? So I was like the farm monitor, like a hall monitor. I was that, and then after that I was then the water boy. So I was like water boy. That was my first job. Second job, water boy. So it was like taking water to the guys that were working in the field, working down in the ditch bank, with the bush axe. I did that. So that was the first job. So after that, then I wanted to drive, which I couldn't drive my daddy's car. His truck too. But they had later on got a tractor because I wanted to drive the mule. So then it was like growing up, and you become now a person who go out there on the wood pile and get the wood, and you go get the chips and you go get them in. You learn that. You go learn how to feed the chickens and all that. So now I'm a guy who can feed the animals. And from that, it was like go out and pick up the fruit, survival. And that job, from that, it was like now you got to go and start get muscles on you. You got to start digging sweet potatoes. You learn how to work. You learn how to do these different jobs. So we did all them, and it was peanuts. My first day shaking peanuts. That was an experience. Seeing a peanut grow and that stuff. So I got to work like that. I learned how to do all of that work. I went in the field one time, and my dad was planting soybeans. He was planting soybeans, and I said, "Daddy," I said, "let me go down and come back." He said, "No, boy, go to the house. I can do this because I don't want you messing my roads up." I said, "No, Dad, I really want to do it." So we went down again and came back. I said, "Daddy, let me do it." He said, "I told you to go to the house. I got to get this field done." And so I kept right on, and I said, "I can do it, Daddy. I can do it." So he let me go down. So I went down. He said, "Keep that road straight. Hold them lines right. Tell the mule, get up, mule. Whoa, mule." So we did. I went there down, came back. "You got to get them roads straight. I'm going to take you off of it." So I got the road straight. And then after I got them straight, I said, "Well, I got enough now, Daddy. I want to go to the house." He said, "No, you're not going anywhere." He said, "You got this. I'm going to the house." So I was left in the field, and he walked out. So then he saw my confidence, he gained confidence, and then now I planted. Now I can plant. From there, it was like trucking tobacco. So you truck tobacco in and out of the field with a mule. So old red mule or black mule. My uncle had a gray mule. So you had to know all the mule names, and so make it easy for you. So I learned how to truck tobacco. So then they got a farm-all tractor, so then I moved up and started driving the tractor. So then after that, little did I know that I would be driving that tractor, become a fireman, truck driver, engineer, and from that mule and that tractor, it made me an engineer. It made me drive a rescue truck, learn how to drive a rescue truck. And so I went from there and moved on up from that and retired. Did some firefighter work, but then from here it was like Daddy was getting old. He came up to me. I came back from Washington D.C. to work. This is very important. When I came back, I became the prodigal son. I worked here for about 3 years, and my daddy came up to me and said, "Take this $3. And I said, "Dad, I don't want your money. I don't want your money." And I didn't take it. So I kept right on working. That was 3 years. So I went on up to 5 years, and he came to me with a 5. And he said, "Take this." He said, "No, you're going to take this." And I said, "I don't want to take it, Dad." I said, "I just want to sit here and work for you." And we kept right on going. So I moved on up for probably about 8 years that I worked. And then I came on, went up to 10 years. So he came out with $10. He said, "Take this $10. I said, "No." I said, I don't want that. I said, "I want something else." He said, "What it is that you want?" I said, "A hug, Dad." So I hugged him. He was trying to push me off, but I hugged him. When I did that, I think that was it when he came to me and told me, "Look, I think I'm going to retire from farming, and I'm going to let you take over." So I said, "Well, no, Dad, I don't want to take over. All I want to do is do what I'm doing now." He said, I'll stay with you until you get up and get going. He said, "But after that, you're on your own." So when he did that, that was in about 1985, 86, somewhere in there. And I've been going ever since.
And did he just stayed here? Did he live here?
Yeah, he lived.
He let you do all the work.
Yeah, I did all the work. He looked around and checked on me, make sure I was doing okay. And after that, he didn't do no more. I said, "Well, Dad, I need to get gas, and I need this, and I need that." He said, "I don't retire. That's your job now." So I figured it out. I figured it out. Yeah, sure did. Take care of my brother, take care of my sisters, try to take care of family members, anybody that need help. I'm here. I'm here. Them that live in town and them that don't. I'm just here for everybody. And I do it until I check out. Yeah. That's all I know.
And you're talking about when they wanted machinery.
Yeah. My parents couldn't afford machinery to farm with, like the bigger tractors, the equipment that it took, the combines and stuff like that. They just didn't have the money to do it. So they had to bring in other people to come in. They had to hire other people to come in to pick or to do corn or beans or wheat. So I said, I believe I could do that. So I was working at the fire department, and then I was working overtime. So I would work at the fire department 24 hours. I would get off, and then I would come out here, and I would stay on that tractor until the moon come out at night. And I would stay out there until it almost looked like daylight. But then the moon would start looking at you and start seem like it's coming down there to get you. It got different shapes on it, and it would run me out of the field. I would just come out and say it's time for me to go. So I came out there, and then I worked 2 days on the farm, 1 day at the fire department. But when I started working overtime, it was 2 days at the fire department and 1 day here. So when I worked 2 days at the fire department and 1 day here, that wasn't in the extra days. It was time to go back to work. So it was like working 24/7. And this is the way that I was able to get the equipment that I needed to farm. And when I did that, I saw a difference. I saw a difference in saving money, time, and all of that. Yeah.
What did you guys use before you had the equipment? You said you had mules.
We had mules. They had the mules, and the mules, the mules, 2 mules would pull tobacco chopper. That would cut the stalks down. You prime the tobacco off with your hands. So that's how you got it out of the field. Then later on, the old stalk chopper, you got a bush off. Then it's a bush off. Yeah. So it seemed like they could never get their hands on the combine. And then their knowledge, because they only had like a 9th grade education or less than that. Mm-hmm. So their knowledge of being able to work that mechanical piece of equipment is not easy. So by me being mechanically inclined and running the fire trucks and the rescue trucks and the tractors, it was easy to me. So, yeah, that's about it. Planters, there was a 1-row planter, and then we moved up to the 2-row planter, which was pulled behind the tractor. So that was better. That was basically about it. And then they had the old chopper thing where you chop your wheat down. Mm-hmm. And then the guy came out and bailed it up. But yeah, that was about it.
What do you hope for the future for the farm? Do you hope like maybe one of your kids take over, or?
Yeah, I definitely, want somebody to take over because, a mother or father really leaves a legacy for his children to have. That's what the Bible says. So that's what I'm hoping that they do. And that's what I want to happen, Mm-hmm. Hopefully it'll continue. Yeah, that's what I like to see.